We continue our focus on a major political development that is stirring lots of reactions across Nigeria. That is, of course, the resignation of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar from the People's Democratic Party. Atiku's decision to leave the party comes at a time when the party is already navigating internal tensions and public scrutiny. His exit raises serious questions about the PDP's stability, its leadership, and its future as a viable opposition force.
For a man who's been a recurring presidential contender and a towering figure within the People's Democratic Party, this isn't just personal, it's political. And it could reshape the dynamics ahead of the 2027 elections. We will be speaking with a member of the People's Democratic Party to understand the party's reaction to his resignation, the implication of Atiku's departure for the party, if any, and what it means for Nigeria's political landscape, especially with the calculations already ongoing ahead of the 2027 elections.
But first, let's take a moment to walk you through Atiku's political journey, because it's been quite the ride. So in 1999, he was in the PDP, was elected vice president under the PDP. Remember, he was the vice president to the seven president, then talking about President Olusegun Obasanjo. 2006, AC defected from PDP after a fallout with the president, and that's where he also was gunning to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And guess what? In 2009, he returned back to the PDP ahead of the 2011 presidential primaries, of which he didn't also get the victory. 2014, he decided to leave the PDP and then move to the APC. But not long ago, in 2017, he returned to the PDP to contest the 2019 presidential election. We all know how that turned out. And today, 2025, just this week, officially, he has resigned again for the third time. And that is a current development. Well, joining us for the discussion to take a look at this incessant, or you could say, continuous move from one party to the other in a quest to ensure that he becomes what he has chosen to be. We do have Nnamdi Dickson Iroegbu, a member of the People's Democratic Party. I'm going to start off by saying, was there any shocker for you when you heard that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar had left the PDP? And are you in any way thinking that this would have a very strong impact on the party?
Thank you for the opportunity once again to discuss my party again, the PDP. Of course, we'll have to keep discussing PDP because the alternative to what the real party has given Nigerian people. So we appreciate that Nigerians are indeed expect the PDP to put his house together. But to go straight to the point about Abubakar, was I surprised? Were we surprised? Because of course the company. Of course, Abubakar had in the contest or contestation to be the Nigerian president since 1992. When was in 1998, PDP was formed, and of course, first election that held was for governor. He got elected of Morris, and the candidate of the party in 2009 eventually chose him to his General Olusegun Obasanjo, as he was then Chief Obasanjo now, chose him to run with him as his vice in 2009. And of course, in 1999, of course, Johnny continued. That he sought to succeed Obasanjo in 2007. He didn't get it. He left the party in 2006 to vie for the 2007 election. He also left after 2006, joined AC with the governor of Lagos State, who is now president, a good friend, He also left to back to PDP 2009, contest for the ticket in 2010 against Jonathan.
All right. We have a bit of issue with your network. We'll just try to sort that out. We'll go on a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. For Central, we're still connected with Dickson Iroegbu, who's a devout member of the People's Democratic Party, and we're looking at the exit of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar from the People's Democratic Party. Dickson, did you expect this coming, and how did this announcement come to you?
As a shock. I was expecting it. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's political journey is out there in the public domain, and we know how many times about this is the third time he's leaving our party. It's been all about him. When he came back in 2017, after leaving the party in 2014 to form the APC, and then of course lost to Muhammad Buhari at the primaries in 2014, helped to oust the only performing government or performing political party in government at that time, which is the People's Democratic Party. Of course, Nigerians can tell better now. In 2018, the party zoned its ticket to the north, right? Because he is clearly, why he left the party in 2014 was simply about zoning. So the party zoned the ticket to the north in 2018 against the 2019 election. And of course, he got the ticket, contested and lost to Muhammad Buhari. And then 2023 was the turn of southern Nigeria. But Alhaji Atiku Abubakar now at this time asked that PDP jettisoned zoning and left the ticket open. And we did leave it open, and he got the ticket in 2022 against the 2023 election. And he went the way he went. And since he lost that election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar hasn't shown leadership. All the crises that happened in the party all this while, we didn't see the leader of the party, which he ought to be, because he was the last presidential candidate of the party. He was never perturbed about the challenges of the party. So we knew that he was already plotting for the 2027 contest, right? And of course, the party wasn't going to continue in the direction of always losing. We had given the ticket to him twice and lost. So he knew that PDP was not going to go to the north for 2027 election. And that is why he started plotting all the crises alongside his cohorts, all the crises that the party faced, which were irrelevant and all of that. And of course, when they were done with attempting to oust, first they started with the acting national chairman, and then they went to the office of the national secretary, did everything possible to illegally remove the national secretary of the PDP. And it didn't work because PDP has learned its lessons, having failed to uphold the constitution of the party in 2022 against the 2023 election. All right, so after all of that, what we now know today is that, oh, they are plotting to have a coalition. And then you ask yourself, you're forming a coalition. You couldn't, as the leader of the largest political party in the West Africa, if not in Africa, that is the PDP. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who is the last presidential candidate of the party, could not bring in people to have this coalition with him alongside his party. That is quite shameful. What has he done? He went out and started forming, they started off first with SDP. From SDP, they couldn't get it, they said they were going to form ADA. And then from there, they now said, oh, they have adopted ADC. And then, of course, after all of it, he has officially resigned or tendered his resignation, expecting to inherit the leadership status that Muhammad Buhari's, God bless his soul, left, you know, with the demise of the former president and all of that. And so for you to know how his ambition is what is driving him, Atiku Abubakar has not succeeded in any way whatsoever to raise successors to his acclaimed leadership and what plans he said he has for the Nigerian people. We thought that at this stage that he would have at least said, I've tried, and then, you know, as a statesman that he ought to be, put the interest of the Nigerian people first. Because if Atiku Abubakar had supported the party to uphold its constitution and allowed zoning, we won't be where we are today. This current president, who is dealing with the system, who has wrecked everything about governance in our country, would have come to power, because APC had no reason whatsoever to come back to power after the abysmal performance of President Muhammadu Buhari. That there was no reason whatsoever for APC to have won the election in 2023, but for this inordinate ambition of one man, just one man. So we were not surprised. And will his exit from the party affect the party in any way? No, in fact, so many of us are now excited and saying this is the time to rebuild our party and bring in real Democrats, people who will now indeed reposition the party to its winning ways. And that is why the likes of us are excited that he has finally, you know, left. We hope that he will stay back in the ADC when in 2027 he loses the election, because PDP will put his ass together and we will present the right candidate to the Nigerian people, the right alternative that will indeed better the lives of the Nigerian people. And that is what we expect will be happening
Honorable
in 2027. So we're not surprised at all that Atiku Abubakar, in his usual manner, has once again left.
Thank you for giving us a background to the history of Elijah Atiku Abubakar. In the People's Democratic Party, would you say that we've seen the last of the exodus? It's almost the one-way traffic out of the People's Democratic Party into other parties. It was APC before, now we're seeing departures into the new beautiful bride, the ADC, which is hosting coalition leaders. What's the next step for your party, the People's Democratic Party, and do you think you can build back to the glory days where you used to be that huge party, I mean, across Nigeria and indeed West Africa?
We'll come back and indeed come back to winning ways. We will put our house together. Nigerians know how they fared under PDP in 16 years when he held sway in the villa. You and I can attest to it. We're all Nigerians. I'm sure that 10 years of the rulership of the ruling party, the APC, you can't compare it with the 16 years of prosperity that the Nigerian people enjoyed under PDP when he held sway from 1999 to 2015. For 27 years, PDP has existed. And this is about the longest existing party since 1999, since the Fourth Republic. PDP came into existence in 1998. And of course, we didn't have the likes of governors and all of that you're calling Exodus movement now. When we won the election in 1999, it was simply about the people. Our mantra, the motto of the party, just even its name, People's Democratic Party, it's about the Nigerian people. Our motto, power to the people, and that is power economically, power to the security of the Nigerian people, assurances and all of that that the party can bring to the table. That's what the party stands for. It's about the Nigerian people. And this, as we are experiencing today, is the opposite. You referred ADC as the beautiful bride. My dear brother, it's all noise at the moment. In the next few months, when the ambition the so-called members of that coalition, when their ambition, is now going to derail them, which already started anyway, of course, because ADC, as I have predicted before now, will crumble because it is about Atiku Abubakar, nothing else. Because if it is, you can compare their coalition to what happened in 2014. The 2014 there was no one particular individual whose ambition was going to derail their movement. There was none. This one, they all have individual ambitions, but one man particularly is going to, of course, that is Atiku Abubakar's ambition is definitely going to make the ADC coalition to crumble in the next few months. But PDP, like I said, will gradually put our hearts together and, of course, get back to winning ways. And we hope by the time we present to the Nigerian people the real alternative, because look out for it, the candidate of the PDP come 2027 will be that candidate that the Nigerian people across board will indeed accept and adopt. And indeed will say PDP is back and we can give this party another chance.
How,
so
Mr. Iroegbu? How exactly?
I'm sure we'll come back.
I'm asking you how, because you said that the ADC is all noise. I think a number of people have also said that what the PDP is doing too, and what you're saying, for example, sounds like motivational speak, or like they say in social media, aspire to perspire. Because the PDP has been talking about putting its house in order for the longest time. Yet, what we keep seeing are key figures leaving the party. There are reports of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar trying to resolve the disputes within the party. Were you aware of that? Did that happen?
That what? I didn't get that.
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar trying to speak with affected parties and resolve the disputes within the party. Did that happen?
No, there was no one moment that Atiku, in fact, since 2023, after the 2023 election, the only meeting Alhaji Atiku Abubakar only attended one meeting, towards the reorganizing and all of that, putting together the party. He never in any way showed interest to all the crises the party went through. In fact, if you must know, he was also behind, some of those crises, that because the intention was to tear the party into two, possibly because he doesn't have the grip. The PDP is not owned by one man.
So even to go by what you're saying, since 2023, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar only attended one meeting. Is that correct?
Only one.
Right.
Only one meeting.
And if the party did not know better to say that somebody who is supposed to be the flag bearer of your party, the leader of your party, attended only one party and acted like they were not interested in the affairs of the party, yet the party could not discipline or kick this person out, is that not indicative of the trajectory of where PDP is headed?
No. You see, it's a political party and it's an association that is freely, you freely join. Nobody will compel you. It's not a cult. There's no compulsion to it. So PDP, like I would always say, is about the people. And in fact, the only democratic political party in Nigeria. So when those crises and all of that was unfolding, there were internal ways that were going on with the engagement and all of that. People expect expulsion and all of that. We didn't need that. We knew that there was a time that will come, and those who do not, who should not be here would leave, and they are gradually leaving. You said Exodus movement. There are people also coming in. In fact, since Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the likes of them tendered their resignation, particularly Atiku Abubakar, people have been calling to come back and say, now PDP can have a breath of fresh air and put his house together, because it was the ambition of one man that derailed the party in 2022. Because if the party was, able to uphold the constitution in 2022 before the primaries, we wouldn't have had the exodus exit. The likes of Peter Obi wouldn't have left. All right. Atiku didn't even wait for the party to the zoning committee to come up with his position before he went and purchased his expression of interest form and nomination form, because he didn't have respect for that process. And this is a man who does not respect written agreement or even gentleman agreement. He says, oh, zoning is not, it has a constitutional right. It's not in the constitution of Nigeria, but it is in the constitution of the party. So how come you couldn't respect it? When in 2007, the party even chose the younger brother of his own leader, the man who made him politically, that is Shehu Musa Yar'Adua. When the party chose Umar Musa Yar'Adua, as his candidate, Atiku's ambition still did not allow him reason that, okay, this is family, that since they have chosen the younger brother of my political family, why not I just shelve it? But he didn't do that. He exited and went, of course, contested and lost to Yar'Adua in 2007. So the truth is that PDP is back now. We can put our house together.
Who are these people?
It's not motivational talk. I can assure you, this is not motivational talk. In the next few weeks, you will see. By the time we have the 101 neck, you will see that the party will gradually put its house together. We are back, and PDP will give the Nigerian people the alternative is expecting against the 2027 election. Trust me on that.
All right, Mr. Iroegbu, I think you've said it all. I barely have any other question to ask except for my colleagues if they have more. But my final question would be that you've made mention here that you would be back. You've talked about the former vice president, his ambition and how it led him to what we see today. You've also criticized the ADC, saying it's just noise making and very soon, a few months' time, it's going to crash. But somewhere, somehow, within your party, you are still calling for His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, to come back. Is it that the PDP has not even thought about who would represent them in the forthcoming elections 2027? Or are you still looking forward to go back to get other members and bring them back to help the party?
We are wooing every member back, like you mentioned, Peter Obi. And let me say to you now, as an individual member of the party, one of the greatest moments of my life will be the day PDP will say to Peter Obi, against the 2027 election, please come back. And should Peter Obi get the tickets for the party in against the 2027 contest, then trust me, Peter Obi with the obedient movement and the alliance that the party can form with other political parties, because what we are going to do going forward towards the 2027 election will be forming alliances. The party will be ready to form alliances.
Mr. Iroegbu,
if Peter Obi is adopted as the consensus candidate by the party, then indeed we would have won already the election by 2 o'clock on that day of election in 2027.
Oh, okay, I see. But you've criticized the ADC for forming an alliance, but here you are, you're also looking to form an alliance as well with other political parties. So what makes the difference?
No, what ADC has formed this coalition
and the ADC. Okay, fine. You just mentioned that you want to. I'm taking your statement. I'm not saying that's what PDP does or ADC, but I'm taking your statement. You say you want to form. That's what the PDP is looking forward to do. So who are you looking to form this alliance with? Because the ADC is actually doing something similar.
No, ADC is a convergence of a group of people who are disgruntled. It's not about that. This alliance we're talking about is to form an alliance with the Nigerian people. And of course, all political parties are inhabited by the Nigerian people. The alliance is with the Nigerian people because indeed, APC is going to face, if they think they're just going to face PDP in 2027 election, no, it is APC against the Nigerian people or the Nigerian people against the APC, because APC has brought upon these people, upon the Nigerian people, hardship, hunger, acute hunger in the land. Insecurity is there, and there's no clue in place that this government has any plan. 2 years into governance, what has taken sway is politics, contestation of 2027 election. So meaning that this party is clueless. The APC has no plans whatsoever. So what PDP is planning is to have this alliance with the Nigerian people, irrespective of their political affiliation, to say, listen, you cannot compare oranges with apple. Because the truth is that the darkness is clear, the light is clear. PDP, 16 years, Nigerians fared better.
Okay,
so we're not going to try something that is completely new that we don't know about. The PDP is the alternative, but we cannot do it alone. And because the party is about the people, we will be forming alliances with the Nigerian people. And like I said,
forming alliances with the Nigerian people. But I want to quickly just prod further. My colleague has asked you, who are these people you're looking to align with? Well, you had mentioned earlier that as soon as even before and especially as soon as Atiku Abubakar had announced his departure from the party, that there were people who had indicated their interest to come back to the party. You also talked about bringing certain technocrats to build up this party. So can you maybe share some names of who these people are that have indicated interest to want to come back to the party, and maybe some of the technocrats that you think will come back to build the PDP?
I'm sure the likes of you will join us by the time you see the house put together. But about the gladiators out there in the political arena, I can assure you that talks is going on with the likes of Peter Obi. I can assure you that you cannot today. In fact, Peter Obi has become the alternative to Buhari. Buhari's movement in when he had the court following he had and all of that, the only person who enjoys that court following today, the only politician in Nigeria who enjoys that court following today is Peter Obi. And not just is it because of his court following, but also when you look at his antecedents, what he has to offer to the Nigerian people, the alternative he is offering is about the best that PDP would look at from his future candidate. So for us, one major leader that we are reaching out to, and the party is deliberate in that direction, is Mr. Peter Obi. And if the party does that, what it will bring is harmony. There would have been justice, because injustice was meted against the southeastern people. Southeast was the most loyal zone to the party after the party lost election in 2015. The only zone that stayed loyal to the party was the Southeast. And when it got to rewarding loyalty, the party failed in doing that. And that is why the party lost the election in 2023. All right. So what we are working towards particularly is to tap into the vision and the followership that Mr. Peter Obi enjoys. I am praying earnestly as a member of the party. I'm not speaking now for the NWC. As a member of the party,